What is up, boyos? It is Water Buffalo Man here, and we're back for more Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle. Alright, and for those of you that are new to the channel, and those of you that have found the channel from this video specifically, let me explain a little bit of what I'm going to be doing here, and what I'm going to be doing from now until the 10th anniversary, and actually in the 10th anniversary. So, what we're going to be doing on the channel specifically is we're going to be doing a 10th anniversary prep and, well, build guides, right? So what we're going to be doing is for players that are newer, players that are just returning to the game, or players that are actually been playing the game for a while and just really want to know how to build these units, but they're still on the newer end. So this is more tailored around newer players though. What I'm going to be doing is breaking down some of the best newer units you can use, some really good newer free-to-play units actually, no summonables at all probably. We're going to be doing guides for summonables, but this is going to be a specific 10th anniversary prep playlist only that you guys will be able to find and track down. But there's going to be units, how to build free-to-play units. There's going to be good ones to get skill orbs, good units, events to get hidden potential orbs, Zenny, everything. I'm going to cover every base for you guys as much as possible and in as much detail as physically possible from now until the 10th anniversary and then during. But we're going to jump right in first with probably one of the best free-to-play teams in the game. This one specifically is going to be focused around the free-to-play Saiyan Saga team, as you can see here on screen. These are not all going to be one video. They are going to be broken into multiple different videos, so you guys don't have to sit here for 45 minutes, 50 minutes of listening to me just ramble on. So we're going to start with the Furious Counterattack Goku, the LR, that's a Super Saiyan Saga, Saiyan Saga category Key 4 HP attack and defense of 130. Or all types, Key 3 HP attack and defense of 70%. This is post EZA. You can get him free to play and then EZA him free to play as well. I can show you guys how to do all that on screen. If you'd like to, let me know in the comment section below for those of you that are newer and free to play and want to learn about that. So his super attack is Kamehameha Extreme. This is his 12 key. Greatly raises attack and defense for one turn and causes colossal damage to enemy. Really no buff other than the 50% to himself for attack and defense, so that's pretty good. His Ultra Super Attack is Quiet Wrath of Goku Extreme, greatly raises defense, and then greatly raises attack and defense. Or greatly raises attack for one turn, causes Mega Colossal. So, that greatly raising defense you see there, and why it's not paired together, is because that is a stacking greatly raising defense. So his 18 key does in fact stack for the remainder of the fight. So he gets that 50% buff for the remainder of the fight as the fight progresses. So that's really, really good. That's something you really want to pay attention to going forward with a lot of free-to-play units, because as a newer player, taking on some of these more difficult content using these free-to-play units, because they're not as strong, they're good, they can get through some of the content, but they're not as strong as some of these summonable units. You're going to really have to utilize items and capitalize on stacking and different little assets that'll fall together as you play. So, passive skill, Trembling Rage. Key +2, attack and defense of 159% at the start of turn. He gets an additional attack and defense of 59% when performing his super. Guards all attacks as the first attacker in a turn. Reduces damage received by 30% for 3 turns from the character's entry turn. And for those of you that are wondering what guard means, I just thought about that. It makes the unit react as if they had type advantage. So like how he's Fizz, if an STR unit attacked him, he would react as if he had AGL on STR, where he would have the advantage. Is how they activate that. Plus, he gets the additional damage reduction of 30% for the first 3 turns from the entry turn. So if he spawns in on turn 1, he would have turn 1 and 3 would be his first 3 turns from the character entry. It wouldn't be turns 1, 2, and 3 for him, so it wouldn't be like 1, 3, and 5. It would just be turn 1 and turn 3 because of the way it falls. He launches an additional super attack within the same turn after receiving an attack. So again, he's pretty much going to want to be your slot 1 unit. So he gets that guard, gets that damage reduction, and if he gets hit, he'll launch an additional super right off the rip, so he gets his 18 key automatically, more than likely. And then he gets the additional Kamehameha for the additional stacking. Plus an additional attack and defense of 10% with each attack received up to 30%, so he gets an additional with each attack received up to a max of 30, which is awesome. Chance of performing a critical hit plus 15% per superclass ally on the team up to 59%, so let's just say 60. And he gives all allies key 3 and 40% to attack and defense. Plus, he gets an additional key 3 and attack and defense of 59% when attacking extreme class enemies or as the first attacker in a turn. So that right there tells you want to put him in slot 1. He's literally going to be your slot 1 unit for your team. He has guard, damage reduction, and gets a buff of attack and defense in slot 1. And every time he gets hit, he gets that slight 10% buff up to 30%. So he's looking at a total of 59%. 159%, so let's just say 60, 60, that's 220. plus that after super, so 280, plus an additional 30 here, so he gets 310% in slot 1, plus a 60% chance to crit, and 30% damage reduction, and a guard. Not to mention if he's stacked a couple of super attacks beyond this point, he's going to be pretty good in slot 1. He's not going to be on par with Beast Gohan, no, that's not going to happen. But as a free-to-play unit, and for someone that's just joining, this guy being really good for you, this could be a really good leader for you, and is going to be a really good leader for you to beat a lot of Dokkan events and other content like that. Active skill, the Kaioken. Raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to enemy, can be activated from the 5th turn from the start of battle once only. It's kind of like a high-powered super attack for those of you that are new to the game. His link skills are pretty good. Z Fighters, all in the family, is a really good link because he gives defense, Saiyan lineage, Shattering the Limit, Experienced Fighters, Kamehameha, and Legendary Power. He's got some pretty good categories. His stats at 100% are actually pretty good, but looking at the team, looking at his best linking partners, he really doesn't have any that fit his team, specifically that he's running with right now. I mean, he does. Like, this guy's free to play, you could run him. He's not free to play, he's free to play, you can get him. But you wouldn't really want to run these guys. He's pretty decent. You can get him pretty free to play for the most part, but you really wouldn't want to. He's pretty decent. But as a whole, looking at how I would personally build this guy if I was a newer player, if I was building this for a newer player, hands down, how I'm going to tell you right now is additional dodge all the way. This man definitely needs the additionals, definitely needs the dodge, right? Hear me out. Because in slot 1, he gets the damage reduction, he gets the guard, and he gets the additional damage when he takes a hit, more or less. And he gets the additional attack and defense in slot 1. Plus, you're going to only be running this Goku, almost definitely, if you run him on a Saiyan Saga team, with this team that you have here, that I'm going to be showing you, which is more than likely what you'll be running him as a newer player, he'll have the damage, or the crit chance of 59% automatically. So he's going to do a crit 3 out of 5 times, almost guaranteed. Roughly. It's statistics, you guys understand how that works. So you don't want to build him into anything into crit at all. You legitimately want to go additional dodge, but more on the dodge side. So how I'm looking at thinking you want to build this guy, specifically, like I'm looking at mine right now. I built mine wrong back in the day, so I got to correct it. He has 5 built in with additional automatically for being a fist type. So you'll want to go 6 crit up on the top left with 3 additional. And then on the bottom right, you want to go 3, 6, 9. 9 dodge on the bottom with 3 additional. So you want to literally go 6 additional, 0 crit, and 15 dodge, if at all possible, is what you really want to go. If I think that's right. Let me just double check my numbers really quick. Yep, that is correct. So in reality, it'll look like, because he's got the built-in additional, it'll be 11 additional, 0 crit, and 15 for dodge. And the reason I say go nothing in crit is, like I said, he's got the 60% chance to crit if you're running him on this on this Saiyan Saga team. He's going to be hitting crits all the time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Not all the time, but you get my point. He's going to be hitting him on a higher scale. So 11, 0, 15, and then for his skill orbs, if you want to go crit a little bit, this is where I would say do it. You could go additional dodge for actually all 3 across the board, or you can go crit dodge all 3 across the board. But I recommend giving him more dodge than anything because of that option of, like, let's say his damage reduction does wear off and he's about to get supered. Guard's not going to make you eat everything when you're getting supered. But also then, depending on how far into the fight you are, his defense could be higher, it could be post-super. There's a lot of different factors that come into play, but having that higher chance to dodge will help you out. But that's pretty much all I got to say for him, is literally 11, 0, 15 across the board from left to right with additional crit dodge, and then additional dodge for his skill orbs or crit dodge. That's completely up to you guys. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time when we come back for more 10th anniversary prep. See you guys then.